Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today I want to do a absolutely super basic tutorial for beginners or people who are new to Drambo on basic sequencing. So we're going to put a number of instruments in, and then basic song construction, so you can actually get started pretty quick, because Drambo can be a little bit to modular groove box, it can be a little bit overwhelming. There's a lot to learn over time. I've done a few videos, a few beginning tutorials, and I think that sometimes it can appear a little bit complex. So this is absolutely as simple as I can make this. Okay, so when you open Drambo for the first time, you're probably going to be presented with something like this. Okay, and this is just an initial project. And if we click on a little toaster icon at the top here and we click new, 8 tracks MIDI to CV is what I always use. Okay, so 8 tracks MIDI to CV. I've got a little MIDI keyboard plugged in, so I can use that as well as entering notes in the grid. So click out of this, and this is where we're going to start to build our track. Now, at the moment, each of these tracks here, each of these different instrument tracks, they'll all be 1 bar long. So if you click on this, you'll see this track over, and it's 1 bar. If you want to change the length of that, you click on this little icon here, and then you can choose, right, ×2. So now we've got 2 bars, 4 bars. At the moment, we're going to leave it on 1 bar. And that is different. You can change that length for each of the instruments, okay? So you're initially given 8 tracks to play with, an A, B bus and a master. You don't need to worry about any of this stuff. Click on this little plus button, and this is where you can choose the different instruments, your effects, your modulators, your mixers, MIDI. Again, you do not need to worry about all of this stuff. Drambo does a lot of this stuff for you, okay, like routing and stuff. Audio unit instruments, if you've got audio units on your iPad, and I'm sure you have, they will be there. Instrument rack is the internal instruments for Drambo, and you can choose them there. I'm going to choose this AN kick instrument, which is analog kick. It's a nice place to start, and I'm just going to put in 4 of these and turn the volume up here. So we've got a dead basic 4 on the floor kick going over 1 bar. What's cool here is if I want to create this an extra bar, so it's 2 bars long here, so we'll just go ×2. It will put those kicks in there for me, and I can make extra. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. And that's it. That's my first track. I can, if I want to now, go in here and put in an effect. If I go to processor where my effects are, I could go, right, well, maybe some sort of effect here. We got reverbs, delays, all sorts of stuff. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just leave it with just the kick. And then I'm going to go to track 2 here. Okay, and I'm going to add in some hi-hats. So this time I'm going to go to generator again. I'm going to go to instrument rack. I'm going to go to drums. I'm going to go to hi-hats and choose one of these hi-hats. Okay, so I'm just going to choose maybe hat 1. And this opens up the instrument for this. And we can now start to put in some hi-hats. So let's put in kind of 8ths, just for simplicity's sake. And then we can play around with the instrument. Okay, so you play around with that till you're happy. And that's your hi-hat track, right? We go to track 3. Now you can add, again, you can put effects in here on other instruments and more stuff. It's entirely up to you, but it starts to get into the realms of that's when you want to be learning it, So we'll go to track 3. Let's stop this for a sec. And I'll leave that second one there just on its 1 bar. And if we remember, our kick is over 2 bars. So you can mix and match. We'll go to track 3 now. You can leave this running if you want to. I'm going to go to instrument rack again. I'm going to go to drums, and I'm going to go to snare, and we'll just choose. Let's just choose this one hand clap thing. I don't know what it'll sound like. But let's put this in, and let's put this in on the 5th and the 13th. Okay, brilliant. That's good. Let's go to track 4 now, and let's add an AUV3. Okay, so one of your instruments. I'm going to add this generator, audio unit instrument. I'm going to click on the little toaster. I'm going to scroll up and find SynthMaster One, because it has lots of cool sounds I can use. So, is it just down here? So, SynthMaster One. And I'm going to make sure my volume's turned down, because SynthMaster can be a little bit loud sometimes. So I'm playing my MIDI keyboard now. But if I wanted to, I could just put in the notes here. Okay, and you can see if I do this, I can put notes in here. So maybe select a G there. It selected it for me, and another C here. So I've got C2, G2, G2, C3. I'm going to take them out. I'm going to increase the length of this one because I want more than 1 bar. I'm going to increase this 2 times 2, 4. I'm going to increase it to 4 bars, and I'm going to leave the speed normal. So this is where you set the resolution. Okay, so how fast the track runs through its 4 bars, which is very cool indeed, especially for things like hi-hats and stuff. Okay, so let's choose a nice bass sound. To open up an audio unit here, we click on this, and to actually expand, right, we can move the audio unit around, close it again, tap on this, and this is your expanded audio unit view. Now you can tap on this now, and you can move it around, and you can, you know, make it bigger, what have you. Well, I'm going to go in and choose a instrument. So I'm just going to go with bass. Okay, that's going to do for a bass. Can turn this up a little bit now to suit. I'm just going to play the track and have a mess. Okay, that'll do. So what I'm going to do is hit record and then hit play. And you'll see it'll start recording straight away. Right, maybe you want a counting. Go into here where it says 120. This is your metronome settings. Now, metronome is off at the moment, so we can always switch it on, but only have it on for recording, off, always on, or recording, okay? Pre-roll is off. I'm going to set this to 4 beats, which is essentially 1 bar. 3 beats, 2 beats, off. 4 beats, 1 bar. Quantization is on. It's going to allow me to overdub if I want to. So let's get out of this now. Oh, and then you can, of course, change the tempo. So let's hit record and play. I have here, I'm going to make sure that I'm only on 4 bars. So actually going to do this. I'm going to clear this out completely. Now you see I'm over 5 bars there, so I'm going to minus 1 bar, so I'm only on 4 bars. Okay, go back into my menu here and make sure that Clips Auto Grow Recording is switched off. This is important because if you don't switch this off, what's going to happen is what happened then. Once it gets to its 4 bars, Drambo is going to think that I might have changed my mind and want to carry on recording, which is good in some circumstances, you know, allows you to kind of jam on forever. But I want this to be locked into 4 bars, so I must turn off clips auto grow. That's really important. Otherwise, it will happen. Now, this time round, that won't happen. I'll press record, press play again. It's going to give me my 4 bar counting. And after 4 bars, it's going to loop. So. And because I've also got overdubbing switched on, it means that I can then go in and add extra notes to that as well. Okay, now before I add anything else, what I'm going to do is start to construct my song, right? So this here, open this, and this takes you to your kind of sequence view. If you're familiar with Ableton, it works kind of the same way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this little icon here, and it's going to duplicate that pattern. Now, maybe I didn't want that bass to come in the first one. So what I'm going to do is going to swipe. I'm going to do it with my finger. Okay, so you swipe up, and then delete. And also, I'm not going to have this snare in here. So swipe up and delete. And now in this first pattern, if I play it, right, so switch record off, it's just playing the kick and the hi-hat. And if I jump to this, it's going to bring in my, let's just quickly look at this again, right? At the moment, you'll see that loop is this here. This is loop. This means it's going to loop whatever pattern, whatever row or scene, if you like, whatever scene is playing. Time means that it will wait for the first one to finish before it jumps to the next one. So, for example, if this is playing, as soon as I hit this, it's going to wait till this finishes. If time is switched off, it's still going to loop the scene, but as soon as I tap 1, it's going to jump to it. Right now. Also, while it's at this very simple mode, if we switch loop off and just play, it will just keep looping between these two. Okay, so now you get the kind of basic idea is this. What we're going to do is select this one and we're going to duplicate it. And we're going to select it here and we're going to lock it up. Don't need to worry about time, but you can always turn it on. So now what we're working on is scene 3. Okay, so let's go down here. Oops. And let's go to track 4. No, actually, we're in track 4. Let's go to track 5 and let's add another audio unit. Let's add another, keep things uniform. We'll add another SynthMaster One. Open this up and I'm going to pick some pads. So maybe some sort of pad sound. I know things like this can sometimes be a little bit boring, but if you, there we go. I won't mess around with this. We'll leave it at there. Okay, close this. And now, again, I'm going to set my bar length here to 4. Just have a practice. So again, I've already got all my, it's not going to go over recording. We've got our things set to metronome when it's recording, no swing. Pre-roll is 1 bar, quantization is on, and overdubbing is on. So now we're good to go. I do want to make a very slight adjustment to this synth. So go back to synth, because okay, just let's hit play and actually I'll have another quick practice. And again, don't forget, I could increase this to 8 bars, whatever. So I'm going to hit record, play, give me 1 bar count in. And then to keep things organized, also as well, don't forget to save your project. If we go, let's go save as, and just we'll call it, I don't know, text plate 1. Okay, save. And we're going to go into our song vote. So hit this, and now we've got this pattern here. Let's duplicate this one and let's select it. So, and make sure our loop and our time is, don't worry about time if it's looping, but we're going to add some more, we're going to add another instrument. We're going to add 1 more instrument, and then that'll be it. So you'll get an idea. So we'll just add a little bit of a kind of a lead sound, I suppose. I'm going to show you a little bit more about this as well before it goes. You can do a lot of cool stuff with this. So let's go back and add that 1 more instrument, shall we? So we'll go to this view, we'll go to track 6, and we'll go to audio unit extension again, and I will add 1 more SynthMaster One. I'll open it up here. I'm going to go and find a kind of a oh right, hang on, orbit. This is a lovely sound, so I'm going to use this straight away. So that was easy. Close this up. I'm going to now, if anytime you want to access the entire mixer, if you hit main here, this will take you to the mixer view. Okay. Okay, so we're going to add in some of this cool orbit sound. And again, I'm going to double this up to 4 bars. Actually, what I'll do with this one is I'll double this up to 8 bars, because I'll show you something about the actual sequencer as well. So we're just going to play a little bit of lead, nothing spectacular. I'll just have a quick mess. Okay, it's a bit quiet, so this is good. Let's add a compressor. So let's add an audio unit compressor. So go to processor, audio unit, and go and find a compressor of some description. Well, I'm going to use one called I'll use FAC Maxima, because that's pretty cool, and that's going to give me enough boost for what there we go. Awesome. So that should be quite nice. Let's have a quick play again. That's fine. All right, let's just record it. So our mixer. Now you can do our mix. All right, cool. Let's go to our song view now. So this is like our little track. Now you can go on and on and on and on. And you know, you're not limited to 8 tracks, by the way, you can have more. But we can do some cool stuff with this as well. So for instance, first thing, if it just starts from here, let's switch off loop and leave it on time. Well, let's switch it on and it'll play around once and it'll jump into the next one. Now it will play for the longest loop. So for example, on this one, we had a loop set at 8. So it will take 8 bars for this entire pattern the entire scene to scroll through. So if I select this now, so you get that, right? If we long hold on the header here, like where it says number 1, so just long hold here and then let go. This is where you can choose how the actual scene plays through. So it steps for beat, the beats in the pattern, the repeat, you can name it. So just say, like, for instance, I don't know, just call that intro, enter. And now your little scene is called intro. Again, long hold it and then release and have it repeat twice. So what will happen now is it'll play around twice before it skips to the next scene, if you like. So let's try that. Make sure that loop is off, otherwise it will just loop. Now play again and then it will jump to scene 2. So that's how you can make things longer and shorter, and you know, you arrange your song. Now the other thing as well, if you kind of you can move stuff around, right? So example, we can, if we long hold on, say, this one, and we can move up to this one here, you see we've duplicated this bass into this little lead pattern into this first one. Now bearing in mind, because this is 8 bars long and I've got this set for twice, it's gonna basically take that length of time, 8 bars, and then it's going to repeat it again before it moves over to this. So this time, hold and flick up. No, just quickly flick up and hit delete, and it will just delete that for you. Here's another thing as well. You don't need to play a scene. You can choose, right, what patterns are playing in any given order. So it's like a grid launching, right? So now we're playing this here. Let's choose some blanks. So you have a wide range of options of how your song plays. If you just want to construct a song. That's how you do it. You know, you can choose how long each scene plays for. If you want to kind of perform live, you just select different patterns that are in any of the scenes. Here's where you can just get one scene to loop. Here's where you can have it timed. It's awesome stuff. So that, guys, there you go. I don't want to go in any longer. I've gone on long enough, but that's super basic stuff, super basics. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a patron, and I will see you guys later. Thank you very, very much for watching. And yeah, top job, Drambo, songs and scenes.